Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Collider Games podcast. My name's Destin. I'm here with
Josh Weyers.
Yeah, and we got an early episode this week just because, obviously,
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
the long weekend.
We usually shoot on Fridays, but won't be here on Friday, so decided to knock
You
out
won't
one.
be here. I'll be here. I'll be in the shadows.
Okay. But, not a ton of news since we talked on last Friday, but some stuff to go. We're also go over some of the Black Friday sales.
Yeah.
Because that's like the best time to buy games,
yeah.
and I can cry again about how I lost out on one of the PS4, good PS4 deals. That they basically paid over for.
I have a lot of friends right now complaining that one of my group of friends, they all just got Borderlands 3 and it's on sale right now. They just missed the sale.
Yeah, that's how it goes. All right. So first thing is, and this is a rumor, so this isn't like any fact or like.
But it comes from a fairly good, a trustworthy source, I'd say.
Yeah, it's just, but even they themselves are saying, look, this is
speculation.
A lot of speculation that this rumor that Rockstar Games' next game is not going to be Grand Theft Auto. It's not going to be Bully. It's not going to be Red Dead Redemption 3. It's going to be some sort of open world medieval game that will have swordsmanship and dueling and set in Western Europe somewhere. How do you feel about that?
I was actually thinking about it earlier today, and it's I'm first of all, I'm all for it because they haven't had a fresh IP in a while. If you think about it, Rockstar or Take-Two Interactive in general, it's been a while. I mean, to be fair, they haven't had a need for a new IP.
Yeah.
They've been killing it, but I think they're at a point in time right now where they see a gap. They're like, I think they've got the time and the resources to pump out a new game, a new IP, and then obviously make more money from that in the future. It being a rumor, however, leads me to speculate that I wonder if, even though it's got nothing to do with Red Dead Redemption, I wonder if somehow it's going to be Red Dead Redemption DLC. Like, even though it has nothing to do with Red Dead, I can totally see them doing a world where all of a sudden you're a cowboy in the medieval world.
Well, I was thinking, how they would...
Because GTA's had some very weird DLC as well.
Because, like, a lot of people were saying, like, Red Dead Redemption is Grand Theft Auto or whatever, and in some ways it is, some ways it isn't.
I mean, same with like the Bullies, if you will. Like they're all kind of the same mechanics, if you will. Yeah,
it's like Bethesda, and they got Skyrim, they got Fallout.
But it's like
they're doing a new science fiction one, and it's going to have the same gameplay mechanics. So a medieval thing could fit well into that because you're talking about like, okay, now your character hops on a horse, just like in Red Dead Redemption, right?
Exactly,
and you go around. I think my only thing is, if let's say this rumor is true. Is it going to be strictly medieval where it's like Red Dead Redemption where it's like, okay, this is a realistic Western story. So it would be like a realistic medieval story, or what I was thinking, which I think would be kind of cool, but I guess I don't know if
more
they
like
do
a fantasy element.
Yes, like a Dragon Age. Obviously, I think of Game of Thrones. Like, would they want to do that, or would they stick with it? Because when you say medieval, you're talking like, okay, they look like they want to,
the Dark Ages, very specifically, like probably more like British European kind of medieval times, if you will,
Yeah, so it doesn't sound like you'll have like a sword that will shoot flames or you know what I mean. It's just more like, okay, you upgrade from a crappy sword to like a big broadsword, or you know what I mean?
I think they saw the critical success with Red Dead Redemption 2, and then people, with the review, everyone, for me, the thing I liked most about Red Dead Redemption 2 was the realism. It was the immersion that it gave it that extra level of like, this is like real, you know what I mean? So I think they're probably going to go in that direction, considering that they are also working on Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6, like...
No, that's Bethesda.
Wow, where am I right now? I'm in a different world right now.
That's Bethesda, Rockstar.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, no, I think it's good. They're going to go for a realism approach for sure. And they said they want to push it out. If the rumor is true, they want to get it out in the first quarter of 2021, which is also soon. So that means that if this...
Let's say they had started working on it right after Red Dead had released, which was last year, 2018.
Or at least after the online had released.
Yeah, but I mean, that was only a month after. So you're talking end of 2018, so you go 2019, that's only a year, 3 years? That just seems like a short development cycle. If you're assuming that everyone was working on Red Dead, the whole time all the way until they launched.
Well, I mean, also keeping in mind that we know people, game developers almost never really hit their mark, and this is a mark that they haven't even announced, if you will. You know what I mean? But also the source said that we're not too far off from an actual announcement sometime soon. So hopefully the speculation will be cleared up. After that, though, thinking even further ahead as to what's after this medieval open world game, I've been talking for a while about my friends as to whether we think GTA 6 will come out first or if Bully 2 will come out first.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is,
I mean, after this medieval game, of course.
No, well, I mean, this medieval game could be not true, and then so maybe GTA 6 is the next thing. I mean, it's definitely not Red Dead Redemption 3 because they just had 2. You know what I mean? Of
course not, yeah.
That's like the only safe bet is like that's not what's coming next. The question is whether they're returning to their previous IPs or creating a new one.
I think they're definitely going to create a new one. Like it's about time that they get a new IP.
So is that what you would prefer, though?
I would prefer
GTA 6. What's next?
I would prefer a Bully 2 or a GTA 6, 100%.
Okay.
I've been waiting so long for Bully 2. Dennis, I'm like, the amount of rumors I've been reading for years and years about Bully 2, I'm ready. I know that I'm hoping that they set it in college like they said they would, which makes sense because you went from like high school, boarding school. Now I want to see the college world, you know?
I never really played Bully. I played GTA.
It was literally like, it's just GTA, but in school.
Okay.
It was the same mechanics. You had the same mini-map, the same heads-up display. That's why I think they would probably use the exact same game engine. For GTA 6 and Bully 2, if they're smart in terms of their money, they'd probably use the exact same engine.
Yeah. I personally would love to see a medieval game. Even though I never like fully played all the GTA games. I played some of them. I always sucked at the car stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
I mean, for me, that's like the best element of it.
Really?
Especially
I sucked at it, and like I couldn't continue. Like I would get to certain places that I would get stuck, and I'd be like, damn it, you know? And GTA is more, at least from what I remember, it's more sandboxy than Red Dead.
Well, you can screw around a lot more, mess around.
Yeah,
you know?
and there's like a lot more like random side missions where like Red Dead, yes, there are a lot of random side missions, but it definitely is more focused on that single player.
That like
experience.
Fun sandbox kind of thing to it. It's also kind of got that like goofy sandbox vibe to it. Whereas Red Dead has those sandbox moments, but it's more on the realism scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good as well in terms of we haven't had arguable. I think there was that one game came out that I never played called Deliverance, or it was not Deliverance. It was like had the word deliver in it. It was a medieval, realistic medieval game that came out. I didn't play it, but we haven't had a genuinely good, realistic medieval game come out. Like,
well, because it's mostly fantasy, right?
Exactly.
Because with fantasy, you get a lot of different options and variety in terms of powers and weapons and,
you'll
and
have
enemies.
You'll have a skill tree.
Because if you go realistic, right, that means
how do you level up?
Well, also who are you fighting? You're only fighting other human characters, right?
True. Yeah.
Your weapons are going to be very limited in the variety of what you can do. I mean, obviously you can do like I'm sure like crossbow and arrows. And swords.
You'll probably
get
knives, a halberd, things like that.
Yeah. A mace or something. You know what I mean? But you're not varying the amount of...
Exactly. There's not going to be a bunch of different choices. You're not going to be able to look as cool as you want to look.
Like in Red Dead, right? Like, dude, after I got one weapon upgraded a little bit, I never really... you know what I mean? I didn't do much of the customization or changing out of stuff.
Oh, I was... Man, really? For me, I really enjoyed that part of Red Dead. Like, even though... Like, if I could, like, all my weapons I customized just to make them look sexy, man. Even though I know I'm technically the only person who's ever going to really see it, you know, but no, I like that part of it. But for me, that's the biggest selling point for me personally for any video game is how much customization does it have. That's like a big thing for me with video games that leads me towards my choices into what I buy. That's why I like RPGs. There's so much customization in RPGs.
Well, for me, it's the story. And the character building and whatnot.
Of course, yeah.
Just being invested in that.
I do think it's a bit risky. I mean, mind you, I think Rockstar is at a point in time, they have been at a point in time for a long time where they can take risks. They are making so much money that they could, this could be a complete flop and it wouldn't really affect them as much as what we think it would.
Yeah.
But I do think it a bit risky because I don't really... Well, mind you, I don't know. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 had the following. You know, you had the people who played the first games like that had that following, but coming in with like a whole brand new, medieval kind of game. And if it is realistic, it's the same thing of like you're gonna be patient. You have to be patient. You know, there's no cars. Like I'd imagine there's probably some fast travel elements, but
yeah. How often did you actually use the fast travel in Red Dead? I hardly used it.
not at all. But that was one of those games where there was so much for you to like. That's why I could never finish that game. It's just you walk for 5 minutes and you find something new to do. My ADD in Red Dead is like.
See, I'm laser focused. I'm like main mission. Like some guys like shouting for help on side. I'm like, screw you, pal.
Yeah.
I gotta go this way.
I'm the kind like I'll go to the bar and start a fight.
The one thing you can do in Red Dead, even though they do have fast travel, but it's only from certain locations to certain locations. But what you can do is once you set the waypoint to where you want to go, get your horse going and then turn to cinematic mode.
Oh, that's okay. That's
and he
nice,
goes, and then you can just.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
come back later. Though once in a while, something bad will happen to you.
I was gonna say they had that with Final Fantasy 15 as well.
Oh, really?
Well, having your car. I mean, some of your trips were like 8 minutes, and it's realistic. You could. I mean, you unlock the fast travel later on, but in the beginning of the game, if you haven't been there before, you're gonna have to drive there, and it's the same thing. You can choose to have one of your. You can pilot. You can drive the car. You can have your friend drive the car. In which case, you go make some coffee, come back, and take a look around, have a nice cinematic experience. You know, road trip. And I like those elements. But mind you, at least I had radio. Like I had my car radio.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next one. This one was so in an earnings call for CD Projekt Red. They didn't say who, but they said a manager, someone in management or of the developers, talking about Cyberpunk 2077 and about Half-Life Alyx. Basically said. Of course, we've seen the Half-Life VR announcement. I think it was a nice surprise for everybody. VR remains extremely niche of the market.
The niche.
Yeah, the niche of the market. It's very, very small.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it makes sense to me. I don't see, like, yeah, they both come out the exact same month. So I can see why some people would think they're worried, but they raise a valid point. Like it's two two completely different markets. Why would they worry?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm surprised they got brought up though. I mean, who brought it up in the thing? Like when I thought, I mean, I guess the
it's
only
a weird question
reason
to ask.
is that Half-Life Alyx is coming in March 2020, and then Cyberpunk is April 2020.
Oh, I thought they were both March.
No, so one's like a month. But even still, it's
a month
very,
apart's not too
it's
bad.
a very different market. I mean, he's right. It is a VR market, which is niche, but it is definitely growing.
I mean, it's not going to come out on PlayStation or Xbox. It's going to be PC only and the Oculus and VR only. You know.
Yeah. So I don't know why anyone brought that up. They're very different markets and different. The people buying and playing Half-Life Alyx versus playing. I'm gonna get both.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing: the people who are gonna buy Half-Life Alyx, they're gonna get that game.
Yeah.
Like one way or another, they're gonna get the headset. They're gonna play. Like if you are as diehard of a Half-Life fan as anybody else, you're gonna get that game no matter what.
I mean, it is like the best
it
looking
looks beautiful.
VR game I've ever seen. So Nick, one of our developers here, who works on our VR games here, has been working on Twin Peaks and some other stuff. He says he's looking into buying the Valve Index just to play the game. Like he knows that he can play it on other VR platforms.
But if it was designed for the Index, it'll probably run a bit better on there.
Yeah. I mean, it's the IMAX of the VR platform. So it's like you can play it on other ones.
Who was it that was doing? I know you and Jack got to try it out. The hand tracking, was that Oculus?
That was Oculus. They had hand
but I mean that's
tracking.
not going to come out anytime soon, though. Yeah.
No.
I was going to say, I guess then the closest thing you're going to want the knuckles then for sure.
Yeah.
If you're playing Half-Life Alyx, you're going to want the knuckles.
Yeah, because I was asking Nick. I was like, because remember we had that conversation last week about like who here's actually going to buy like another computer, another whatever. I'm thinking about maybe just upgrading my video card.
Yeah.
And maybe that will be good enough because I think everything else in my computer is fine.
All I have to do is get the Ryzen 5. I say that like it's the easiest thing in the world to do. All I have to do is get the Ryzen 5 and maybe another 8 gigs of RAM, and I should be good to go as well, to be honest.
Yeah. But so he's considering getting the whole shebang, and he already has I think Oculus Rift. I don't know if he has the Rift or the Rift S, but anyways, he's considering it, and I was like, oh, you can just get the headset or whatever. He's like, no, he's like, I might as well get all of it, the
Get
sensors,
the whole index, yeah.
$1,000.
You know, so they brought something else interesting that got brought up is I wonder, and you might know more about this than I do, is yes, obviously they're bringing out the whole point of Half-Life Alyx is to get more people into VR,
yes,
of course. But I wonder if Valve is supplying any other, like maybe the HTC Oculus of actual hardware parts. Because that would make for me would make more sense as well as to why this was announced. Because I know that they're manufacturing themselves.
Yeah,
because they're manufacturing themselves. They have their own factory. So I wonder if they're also shipping out some of the parts that might be neaded for the other headsets.
I don't know. I don't think so because remember they worked with HTC on the Vive,
and then they kind of pulled out.
Split out. Another interesting thing is they're including the Half-Life Alyx with so if you buy an index. It comes with the game. I mean, obviously, the game is, a $50, $60 game. It's not like it's a huge whatever, but it's like one of those things, just an incentive. I mean, Valve is just very interested in this high-end market for VR, which is interesting because we talked about it. And, I look at the future of VR, even though the Quest is much more underpowered than the rest of it. It
has that extra immersion, though.
And it has the ease of use.
Ease of anybody like you can put that on. You can put. I can give that to my dad.
Grandpa.
My dad can understand how to use that easily.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's.
I just don't know where setting up the sensors. Even though if it's like
you'd have to dedicate a room to it. You'd have to get. I mean, everyone has a gaming room, but you'd need to have a blank space. Like a dance, essentially like a dance room, if you will. What I'm thinking of, and once again, I don't know if this is something they do. I think of Samsung. Samsung supplies the screens to Apple. Apple uses Samsung screens. I was wondering if Valve does anything similar to that, where maybe they.
I don't know.
Because if they do, then then obviously Half-Life Alyx is a very smart idea.
No, well, I think what they're doing is because they have the Steam store, right? They're not going to give it you can play it on the Oculus Quest using the link cable and Oculus Rift.
Yeah, but you still got to pay the game. Buy the game.
Well, they're only going to have it on Steam. They're not going to sell it through the Oculus store. So they're still getting a cut of that, right?
True.
So let's say you have a Rift.
That's a big cut as well.
Yeah, 30%.
Steam takes a big cut,
30%. So, basically, and then, it is their own product, so they're getting 100% of the profit. Yeah. So if they're selling to Oculus Rift through the Steam store...
They're going to probably lose a good 20% or something, right?
So they are making money off of it whether or not you get an index or not. So
that's smart, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. And also they're just trying to push VR forward.
Which is, I'm all for that. Well, I guess, once again, it's one of those things where they not only, they don't have to, but it's in their best interest because they started their own factory, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they decided to not go with a third party for manufacturing. They're manufacturing the index themselves. So it's a smart choice for sure.
I just want to see what, in the next year or two, how this battle between the high end and the low end comes out, because right now the low end's winning. I mean, people are buying the Quest. People know about the Quest. People who
it's either gonna
don't play VR use the Quest.
It's either going to be a thing of where the low end becomes the high end one day.
Oh, sure.
Or I somehow see it possibly even being a thing where 10 years down the line we still have the gap where you still have the high end gears and you still have the low end rigs.
I think at that point though you'll be like,
also we'll have streaming software at that point as well, so it's completely different.
It'll be just streamed from a PC to your headset if you want better graphics, right?
Exactly. Then that's true. I don't know. I mean, I guess it also depends with who's got the most backing and funding. That's also why I see the Quest just winning. I mean, even looking back, in the early runs when it was Oculus and and before the PSVR came out, it was HTC and Oculus. The HTC was definitely better, no matter how you look at it. But it's one of those things now where Facebook owns Oculus. They have more money. You know what I mean? More marketing. So I think Oculus is going to win the VR wars in the long run.
Yeah. So speaking of VR...
speaking about Cyberpunk real quick, very small rumor, but we might get Elon's truck in Cyberpunk 2077.
Interesting.
I don't think as an option to ride, but we might be seeing that truck
it in a cameo
in the game
or whatever.
because they've been having.
Hopefully, the windows are much more.
The bulletproof was fixed. Yeah,
yeah.
hopefully that's. But so they've been tweeting back and forth. Cyberpunk and Elon Musk on Twitter. They're like, let's see if we can make it happen.
Nice.
And then I told you this before
Product
the
placement.
time. Product play. It might work. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't hate the design. I do think it's funny, but it's like I don't hate it.
For me, I don't hate it, but I think it needs to be refined. That's what I think.
For sure. Yeah.
I think like you can take that same look, but then refine it down. Like you know.
Yeah,
so it's not quite as boxy.
And less military looking as well, which I think would be nice.
Make it more futuristic looking.
Yeah.
People were, I think Boss Logic did like a little mashup with the DeLorean from Back to the Future with it, you know, and something.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Something like that.
That would be really cool. And then one other thing was they did an interview with the guys from Cyberpunk asking questions, and I told you this earlier, they mocapped the sex scenes for Cyberpunk 2077, which is, I've had to film a sex scene before. It's awkward. I could only imagine doing it covered in like the dots and all that stuff, and then it's first person. Like,
what's the point?
How do they get through the ratings board with that? You're literally making first person like sex scenes. How do you get the ratings board behind you on that one?
I don't know.
And then other news, which I think was possibly announced before, which is the day-night cycles will affect gameplay in terms of, obviously, if it's nighttime, you're going to be less likely to be seen by people when you're doing things. So they'll have more stealth at night, and so the weather does play a role in that way, which is quite cool.
Man, this game sounds humongous.
It's shorter than The Witcher 3.
Is it?
That's what they said. I read that as well. It's going to be, if you're looking at just the main storyline and the main side quests, not all the side quests, but the main side quests and the main storyline, it's shorter than The Witcher 3 by quite a lot.
How long was Witcher 3?
If you're including the Witcher 3's DLCs, it's long.
No, not including the DLCs.
Even then, it's got to be like a 60-hour game or something, man. It's pretty long. It's a great game, though, but with Cyberpunk 2077, they're going for replayability. They said that they're like, The Witcher 3, when you've done it kind of thing. You have the DLCs, which is nice, but it's like, it doesn't have much replayability. With this, you have a lot of replayability, which is cool.
All right, so next to a related topic, on the flip side of instead of pushing VR, we have
the opposite.
The opposite. Microsoft not wanting VR for the next Xbox, tentatively be called Xbox Scarlet. You have Vice President of Gaming at Microsoft, Phil Spencer, and he said in an interview that VR is not going to be part of Xbox Scarlet. And they said, we're responding to what our customers are asking for, and nobody's asking for VR. The vast majority of our customers know if they want a VR experience, there's places to go get those. We see the volumes of those on PC and other places.
It's true. They got a good point. I mean, no one's been asking for Xbox. To be fair, I guess it's also because Microsoft and Xbox have always been pushing the HoloLens for so long. And we all know now it's not going to really be a consumer product. More a product for...
It's an AR thing, and it'll
be good for engineers, doctors, those kinds of things. Yeah, but now we and also it was one of those things where it would have been cool for video games, but then they realized they can just do the AR on the phones. Why make Minecraft Earth on the HoloLens when you can make it on the phone, you know?
Yeah, and also they have, Microsoft has a vested interest in Windows and Windows PCs and PC gaming. So to them, VR platforms on there are almost like an extension of them in these ways.
Makes sense, yeah.
And also, I believe, VR is going to become much bigger, but I don't think one of the knocks against the PSVR, I think the games are pretty fun on there, but the setup for it is...
that is the nice thing about, I believe the next PlayStation, it's all going to be integrated. So you don't have to have the extra box and all those, like, you're still going to have the cables, but you're not going to have the extra power adapter and all those. It's all going to be integrated into the next PlayStation, which is smart on their half.
Yeah, it's just just a lot of barrier to entry, and if people want to play VR, they're going to play. They'll get a Quest or Index or whatnot. I don't know. It's
I mean, it's such a throwaway comment to make now, but I really wish that PlayStation didn't get the patent for their headset, because like their headset design is in my opinion by far the most comfortable. Way it's like, it's a circlet that's like on your head, and you're not it's not strapped to your head.
I played it. I just trying to remember.
Well, the screen just kind of hangs in front of your face. There's no like straps on the side of your head. It's more like you're wearing a crown.
Yeah.
And it's just, a lot more comfortable. And then they have like the field of view is a bit nicer. But then once again, you're working on a much lower end rig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is why the cartoony games come out nice. Like the Rick and Morty VR game was one of my favorites. Trover, also very fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super hot, fantastic.
So
Beat Saber.
You know, you have PlayStation that is going to continue because they're going to make it the PS5 backwards compatible with PS4
which
VR
is
hardware.
Oh wow, okay, that's good. That's
so if
that's
you
smart.
own one, you can just transfer it over.
Yeah, you just probably got to plug in like you don't. I would imagine you probably just get rid of the box thing. You just plug in the headset as is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
which there's also great deals for that this Black Friday coming up. Yeah.
Well, like I said, maybe eventually when they can get some sort of streaming VR, then Microsoft or an Xbox can get into that game because I see that as a much more.
Or if they can integrate some of the power of the hardware into the headset.
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of
like
the
you're
Quest.
Streaming. You're actually doing all of the power on the headset and just streaming the video. To you and it receiving the
That would make more sense. Yeah.
That would be cool. I mean, we're technology-wise, we're not there yet.
Oh, for sure.
Even Oculus, the Quest can't attach to the PC without the cable. You know? But maybe in the future, when it's one of those things, it won't make it portable because you still need the actual console. But at least in a given room, it's just much more convenient. It's kind of a middle ground, right? It's like you can't really take it on the go, but within the comfort of, let's say, your living room, you don't have the wire. It's kind of like a half.
It was definitely a smart choice when they first announced it because it was like, I mean, not a lot of people had the PlayStation Eye and the Move controllers, but if you did, it was only like a $200 upgrade to get the PSVR, on launch, which is not too bad.
Yeah. And they have like bundles. They'll have bundles for Black Friday, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Also, Microsoft has no plans for xCloud exclusive games.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because they're
look
trying
at Google Stadia.
Well, not only that, they're pushing Gamer Pass, right? That's where all the games, their exclusive games are right. Outer Worlds is on there.
From launch.
Gears 5. So they want people to subscribe to that service. So xCloud is just an extension of that, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you can play stuff anywhere, but like they're not gonna.
I think they also don't want to risk it. What's the point of having an xCloud exclusive and then someone's internet craps out, or the servers are down that day or something? You know what I mean? That's why I think that's Google Stadia's losing point there is the fact that if the internet's not working, you can't do anything. At least that's why I like PlayStation Now as a streaming service, is because if it doesn't work, I still have my PlayStation to play actual games, Yeah,
yeah. So
and it would be unfortunate if it was an exclusive to streaming only, because that. I mean, it also doesn't make sense in terms of marketing and money, because there's so many parts in the world where they don't have the internet speeds to be able to stream these kind of high-end games. You know what I mean? They're gonna be relying on their hardware for sure.
Yeah, they said there won't be any Project xCloud exclusives anytime soon because they're focused on trying to make xCloud just work as smooth as possible, which makes sense. I don't know. I think eventually Project xCloud and the Game Pass are just going to merge together
into one. That would make sense. Yeah.
So
I hope no one comes out with any streaming exclusives. Complete exclusivity.
Well,
I really hope they never do that.
Google Stadia, they have to, right? Because I think with Gamer Pass, right? Let's say xCloud gets working, right? And you subscribe to Gamer Pass. They're probably just going to give you the option to be able to download to your console and to stream. You know what I mean?
Well, but then is it exclusive to streaming if you're able to download it?
No. But what I'm saying, the service will just be instead of xCloud service, it's a Gamer Pass service, right?
Okay, which would make sense to me. I'm just saying, in a world, I don't see anybody doing this, but in a world where I buy a game from a video game streaming service, I buy that game and I can't have the option to actually download it.
Yeah, if
I wanted that extra option,
you know what I mean?
That would suck. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think that's a good move. But I think Xbox and Microsoft are doing the right way.
They're easing into it, which is smart. They're not putting Google Stadia really put all their betting chips on one thing there. You know what I mean? At least with Xbox, they're smart as well. They're just slowly creeping into it because they know it's a market that hasn't been established yet.
And also, it's not there yet, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
it's one of those things where if from a consumer point of view, when a video game comes out and you don't know how it's going to do, you're going to wait to see the reviews.
Yeah. So All right. So I mentioned we're taping this on a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving Thursday. Black Friday is coming up. A lot of good deals, man. A lot of good deals. Of course, I'll be crying over this one, which is the PS4 Slim with 3 games for $199. I paid $280 for my PS4, and then I had to buy games separately.
And that was what, a month ago?
Yeah, like a month and a half ago, just so I could play Death Stranding.
Woo.
Man.
And I think they have another option where...
And it's 2 games that I want to play, which are Last of Us Part 2 and God of War. Like, so...
Hell yeah. I just actually started recently replaying God of War. It's such a beautiful game. There's some fantastic deals out there. I will, for anybody listening or interested in looking up any of the Switch deals from anywhere, I'm going to tell you guys right now to keep an eye out for the bundle, the Switch. I think it's either the Mario Kart bundle or the Mario Party bundle. Those are the original Switches. They have about an hour battery. Battery power less than the newer Switches. So if you're and from the looks of things, they're all the same bundles. They're all like the same priced bundles. So the best way to look around that is to look at the. I brought this up a couple weeks ago as well, but for anybody interested, just Google it. There are certain you can check the barcode. If the barcode starts with a certain letter, then don't get that one because that'll have the less battery power than the others.
Take a look at this. They have a Xbox One S, not an XS.
Yeah, the digital version only, right?
$199 with. No, this is the regular one.
Oh, that's the game of your choosing.
Well, yeah, you can pick. There's like Jedi Fallen Order. You can pick NBA 2K20, Gears 5.
They have
Battlefield.
I think for $140 or $150, they have the Xbox One S digital only, which means no CD drive.
Yeah.
Which is a great deal considering Xbox Game Pass. Like if you can pay $150, get the Xbox One S without the CD drive, and then just get Game Pass, and you're set, you're sorted. You know, that's such a good deal.
Yeah, it's just my internet is crapping out here.
And then,
but yeah, there's a bunch of different deals. Like on games and whatnot.
There's I think PlayStation's having their Black Friday sale. It started yesterday, I think. It goes on till the 2nd of December. I'm probably gonna. Well, I'm buying. I'm gonna get Jedi. I'm getting the Jedi Fallen Order tomorrow, which I'm excited about. Every single person I know who's played that game has said great things, so I'm looking forward to that.
I'm having a lot of fun with it.
And then
I'm actually, from what Dorian told me, because Dorian just finished it yesterday.
I'm so jealous, man.
I'm like probably 2 hours.
Dorian is only now getting into Star Wars. I'm so jealous. He has all the movies to watch. He has a whole fandom to explore.
Yeah,
I'm so jealous.
It's kind of hilarious.
I know. I think it was like a year or two ago. Like he told me he never watched Star Wars before, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's but after that, I'm actually going to buy 2K, the NBA 2K.
20?
Yeah, just because it was. I mean, I feel like it's on sale for really cheap right now.
Don't get sucked into the loot.
I was gonna say I've never really played those kinds of games before, but I kind of want to check it out. If it's sold as many copies as we spoke about recently, I feel like I owe it to myself to check it out. Also, they brought back like the Street NBA style, and I want to check that out.
Yeah. I forgot to mention this while we're talking about VR and Oculus and everything. Oculus / Facebook. They bought the team that made Beat Saber, so the Beat team, which is
So they're gonna make it exclusive.
Yeah,
Beat Saber 2 Oculus exclusive.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it works so well with the Quest. You know what I mean?
Of
it's
course,
like a no-brainer. Like it's like the best thing, even though
it's the best VR game ever, if you will. Currently, you know what I mean? It's I said it last week as well. Like there are VR arcades specifically set up just for Beat Saber.
So yeah, they bought them. So if you want to get your Beat Saber fix, it's probably going to be on Oculus.
Yeah. Which makes sense because you've got the freedom, especially with the Quest, you know? And you don't need those intense graphics.
No.
Like for that.
That's why it's perfect for the Quest.
It's fantastic. Yeah, no, that really is perfect.
And then, like we talked about before, then you have Valve Index and Steam and Valve like going like the high end, right? They're making this first-person shooter with this beloved and huge franchise in Half-Life, you know what I mean?
Amazing graphics, yeah.
Yeah, so they're going there, and then Oculus is going,
Which makes sense. I love Beat Saber and Super Hot because they're just so easy and quick to get into for VR as well, you know? No story needed, you just throw in and you're there. A couple other things I know I wanted to mention as well is, I believe December 3rd, they're releasing an update for Apex Legends where they are adding they're upping the level cap from level 100 to level 500, which is a good thing because once you reach level 100, you've played a fair share of Apex, right?
Enough. I haven't played a ton.
So essentially, you level up, and then you get Apex packs, and you want to open up the Apex packs to get crafting materials as well as skins and other things like that. Once you've reached like the full level, you're barely getting them. You know what I mean? So that was the biggest complaint from anybody I knew who was already at level 100. It was like, well, how do we get crafting materials now if we don't want to buy them? You know what I mean? So for them to add the extra 400 levels, that's going to be so many more Apex packs they could be getting. So it's a smart choice on their half, I think.
Yeah.
It's a good way to keep people playing who have been playing for a long time already, you know? They're like, you thought you were there, huh? No, here's another 400 levels for you to do. New badges and everything, yeah. So that's cool. And then I believe Call of Duty is releasing their first free DLC or like their first post-launch stuff on the 3rd of December as well, which is new maps, things like that.
Nice. Yeah, there's like a lot more. So there's a PS4 Pro Call of Duty bundle for $300.
Is that the Death Stranding one?
No, that is the Call of Duty bundle, and then they have a Death Stranding one that's $399. That one has like a custom. The custom PS4 Pro. It looks very cool.
I would say it does look nice, yeah.
And I think it comes with a custom controller as well. Yeah, custom yellow translucent.
I still don't really know how I feel about Death Stranding, especially now that I actually got to play it. It's just like I enjoy it, but it doesn't feel like a game to me. I enjoy it for other reasons. Like I said, I enjoy it for the reasons I enjoy a movie or a TV show. You know.
Some VR deals. I mentioned this last week. If you buy Oculus Quest, they will give you all 3 episodes of
Vader Immortal,
which is $30 worth of games.
And they're fantastic.
Yeah, Oculus Rift S, which I don't honestly know why you want to buy, but you can for $350, which is $10 or not $10, $50 less than the regular $400 price. I mean, honestly, like I said, the only reason you want to do it is because it's a lighter. I mean, okay. Granted, right now with the Quest with the link cable, there are some issues. It's still in beta, so they're trying to work out. But eventually, let's say they work it out.
It's not like you're gonna have to buy a new cable. You know what I mean? Like they will work out the issues. Yeah.
Yeah. So really, it's just comfortability factor. If you really feel like the Quest is too heavy for you, you want something lighter.
But from a gamer's point of view, it just makes more sense to get the Quest.
Yes.
Definitely, you know.
Yeah. HTC Vive Pro Starter Kit is $800 instead of $1,100, which is the HTC Vive Cosmos is $600 instead of $700. Yeah. So a lot of the PSVR, you can get the PSVR
for $200.
Yeah, with 5 games.
Yeah.
It's Astrobot Rescue Mission, Everybody's Golf VR, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
But I would recommend not doing that bundle because it doesn't come with the Move controllers. There's another bundle for $250.
Yes, with Blood and Truth, which actually is a very fun game.
And also, I think it also comes with Everybody's Golf VR, which I enjoy. I like golf games. I don't know why.
You can get Oculus Go 32 gigs for $150. To me, Oculus Go there's no real point to it anymore now that there's the Quest.
I mean, I feel like all their previous things are pretty much obsolete for now, you know?
Yeah, exactly. All right, I think we're getting near the end of the episode. What do we...
I was going to say, do you know if the Knuckles are open for public buying yet?
I think so.
The Steam Knuckles, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. I mean, you can buy them separately, too, because if you don't want... it's weird. It's modular. You can like upgrade your sensors. You can upgrade your knuckles, or you upgrade just the headset. It's all like what you feel like. Like let's say you have an HTC Vive, and you already have the controllers, and you don't want to buy new controllers, and you already have the sensors. You can just buy the headset. The Valve.
Out of all of them, I think HTC has I wouldn't say the worst, but like not the best controllers. Yeah. I prefer the one I've had the most experience with is the Quest.
Yeah.
I enjoy that, but I see the Knuckles
and the Quest are the exact same ones.
And the Knuckles do look sick though. I like the fact that it wraps around your hand and it kind of like floats there. You're not really holding the handle. Which is cool.
I think it's an evolution of all the other stuff where it's like.
And you can move all your fingers except for I think your pinky because it's touch sensitive. But you can move them in the case of you can open and close, which is nice for. I said it a while ago, and I'll say it again. It's nice for communicating. You know, like you can use numbers, like 2 of us go that way. Really cool. Yeah.
So, you said you're getting Fallen Order this Friday?
No, probably tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, Wednesday.
Okay. I mean, I'm interested when you come back to see.
Oh yeah,
what you feel.
I already know it's gonna. I have a feeling I'm gonna sit down and not stop playing until I finish it because
it's possible. How far are you on Outer Worlds right now?
Right now, I think I'm like quite close to finishing. I'm about to go to the Hope. I'm towards the. I'm speculating I'm towards the end because I recently watched a speedrun where the developers of Outer Worlds was watching someone finish the game in 12 minutes.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which is absolutely. I think, but like 8 or 9 minutes of that speedrun is just in the first world, Edgewater basically.
Yeah.
Which is once you have access to your ship, it's like okay, I can go beat it all now. Which is also like I saw an ending that kind of spoiled. Well, it's not the ending that I'm gonna get. I'm guessing it's a different type of ending, but it's still a bit of a spoiler for me. So
I didn't check it out because I didn't want to be spoiled. But I'm like. Yeah, you literally must like go through the setup and then just run to whatever the last possible thing is and do that.
That was There was a couple things.
You beat the game, but you don't really beat the game. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, even the developers who are watching it, they said, I would love to see a speed through where they actually like enjoy the game or like do some of the dialogue at least.
Yeah.
Because obviously you had to avoid all your companions because you can't have them slow you down. You just gotta the guy didn't not once put any of his stats in. His starting stats, that was it. He didn't have the time to adjust his stat points. He just got to go. The only thing he bought that entire speedrun was the bonus stat to sprinting. That was it. That was the only thing he got. And other than that, he just fucking went for it, man.
Hilarious.
So yeah, I'm about to be done on that. Recently been playing. I got back into Diablo just because of that Diablo launch announcement. So back into Diablo, and then been playing Final Fantasy as well. Final Fantasy X.
All right.
Just to get some nostalgia.
Yeah, also they were talking about, when we were talking about Cyberpunk 2077, they are actually coming to the next-gen consoles, PS5 and Xbox, but they'll be delayed.
I was going to say, do you think it'll be the way that GTA came out, where it's like GTA 5 came out, then the PlayStation 4 came out, then they released GTA 5 again, but with more bushes and animals and trees and things like that.
Probably.
Which is okay. I mean, I like that. It was like, it did look a lot crisper, and they added first person to GTA in the PS4 version.
Yeah, so...
But that'd be nice. I'd imagine, yeah, when the next gen console comes out, we'll probably just get a more vibrant world, more NPCs, it'll be more full, you know.
I don't know if I'll, by that time, hopefully we'll be done with...
done with the game.
Yeah, done with the game. Let's see. Yeah, I'm nearing the end of Fallen Order, about 2 or 3 hours left, and then Outer Worlds I still have a good amount. Probably another 20 hours on Outer Worlds.
Yeah, I know. For me, I know I'm right at the end, but it's one of those things where like as soon as I get a side quest, I got to do it. Like I have friends who finished the game like a long time ago, and I'm talking to them. I'm like, I'm struggling with Sam over here, and they're like, who the hell's Sam? And I was like, you didn't even unlock the robot? They were like, nah, I just played. I was like, man, no, dude. Like the side quests are great. I love them. They're so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the 2 main games I'm playing right now. I'm trying to think of what else.
I also, because last week we brought it up, I remember we were talking about what I think is going to win. Well, I want Jump Force to win Fighting Game of the Year. I don't think it's going to. People are voting for it, and this is why I think they should get rid of fan voting. People are voting for it, which is cool, but they're voting for it as a joke, which is not so cool. I mean, it's cool if it'll win, but I don't want it to win for that reason. That sucks, you know what I mean? But that being said,
it's like why Untitled Goose Game is so popular, right?
It's
because it's a joke. It's not because they actually like the game.
Same with Goat Simulator. I mean, Goat Simulator is kind of fun, but it's not a fantastic game.
No.
I guess at least Goat Simulator was only selling for like $9. So, but yeah, so I played Mortal Kombat 11 because I hadn't played that yet, and I figured I should at least play that before I start going around saying that Jump Force is better. And I don't know. I can't decide between the two in terms of what's actually a better game, fighting game. I think the DLC support's been a lot better with Jump Force, and like the post-launch content's been fantastic. But I think that Mortal Kombat 11 has a much better matchmaking system in terms of like your actual like online battles and stuff. It's a lot better, yeah.
All right, I think that's about it. Are you planning on buying anything on Black Friday?
I'm gonna wait for Cyber Monday.
Okay.
And then what I'm really looking for is a new set of speakers for my computer.
Okay.
Either that, or maybe I'll see if I can get some specials and some graphics cards.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm looking for on Black Friday or Cyber Monday is a good graphics card.
That's what I'll be looking for.
To update my computer.
Yeah, I'm very happy with my rig as is in terms of my monitor, my keyboard, my mouse. Got good, like a pro rig there, but I need a new graphics card for sure. That's what I'll be keeping an eye out for. And then there was something else I was going to get because it was cheap. I forgot what it was. I digress. Possibly a new controller as well because they're doing the deals on the PlayStation controllers.
Yeah, I think it's like $40.
$40
I think the same with Xbox
for brand new, which is not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Controls got so expensive.
I know, right? Controls are so expensive.
It used to be $20-$25 back in the day.
That's like a brand new game, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Literally at home, I just have one controller.
So, like my controller's got a dead spot on the left analog stick now, where it which is okay if I'm playing RPGs, but if I'm an FPS game,
yeah. All right. All right. That's it for this episode. Hope you guys all have a good Thanksgiving. Have a good Thanksgiving break. We'll be back next week at our regular time. So
we'll probably have a lot more to cover because we'll have like about 2 weeks of stuff to cover.
Yeah, exactly. So Josh, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at josh.toki, and you guys can find me on Twitch at josh_toki.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero, Instagram dennis.tzng. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/collidergames. Also, you can subscribe to our podcast feed, Collider Factory feed. Also, I forgot to announce, but I've been mentioning the Twin Peaks VR thing for a while. We're probably going to make an announcement about it next week.
You guys are getting, must be close to the end, right? Yeah. Hell yeah.
So we'll have an announcement probably next week. So probably the next time we're on the podcast,
you can do an announcement. Hell yeah. That's exciting stuff.
Yeah. So, all right, guys.
Oh, and comment in the section what you're going to get for Black Friday.
Yeah.
Because maybe you can help me choose for some stuff to buy.
All right, until next week, it will be next week, but it'll be a longer extended time. All right, see you guys later.
Later.